Good morning, Father Michael here. It seems like I am always and forever misplacing things. And this is not a good Benedictine trait because we're called to simplicity of life and keeping everything in its place and keeping our external lives in order as a way of reminding ourselves to keep our interior life in order as well. Well, the struggle is ongoing with that whole thing. I'm always losing things. And sometimes, it's non-critical things. Like maybe I can't find a board game or a deck of cards um, or maybe a birthday card that I need to get in the mail that I purchased, 6 months prior, and I put it someplace really good and can't find it. So sometimes it's something like that. But alas, usually the things that I misplace are the important things. And it's usually one of three things. It's either my wallet, my car keys, or my damn phone. Now, to be sure, years ago, David had just about enough of this, of my running around in the morning. Where are my keys? Where are my keys? Can I find my wallet? Have you seen my wallet? And so he purchased these little tile devices. I don't know if you know what they are, but they're like little chips, little microchips you attach to your stuff that you lose. And then with your phone, you can activate them and they'll make a little chirp, 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 chirp noise so you can find your stuff, right? Well, so I've got those little chips was one in my wallet. There's one attached to both key rings for both cars so I can find those things. And as long as I can find the phone, it's all good. If the phone is the missing thing, then life is just a chaotic mess. And the problem is, it's hard to find the phone because I tend to keep the ringer turned off and on do not disturb because of the work I do with clients and doing guided meditation and all of that. The last thing I want is for the phone to ring or for some the Ring doorbell lady to say someone's at your front door, stuff like that. Shortly before I moved here to the new crib, I lost my wallet. That is always traumatic for me when I can't find the wallet because probably 8 or 10 years ago now, somebody did in fact break into my car while it was parked right outside my bedroom window in my own driveway. I didn't hear a thing, but they broke into my car and I had left my wallet there and they had gone through everything. And so I found all my credit cards. They were still there, but they were scattered throughout the car. I had like $3 in my wallet and a little bag of nickels and dimes and pennies, to make exact change because, we old people love that kind of stuff, especially in a drive-through with 20 cars behind us. We will count out our nickels and pennies for you to remind you this is what your destiny is. Anyway, they stole that and the $3 out of the wallet. So I didn't really lose anything, and they were obviously just kids because, a real thief would have taken the credit cards and the debit cards and the Social Security card, which is also in the wallet, and all of that. But because of that, now when the wallet comes up missing, I have a little PTSD activation there. Okay, so there it is. I can't find the wallet. I'm looking all over the place. I look in all the usual places. I look in all the unusual places. I run outside to check to see if maybe I left it in the vehicle that I'd left in the driveway. It wasn't in the vehicle in the garage. So, and I discovered that I had left the car unlocked overnight. So now I'm really in a panic thinking, oh my God, if I left it in the car, they could have just like looked in the window and seen it in the side pocket and maybe someone stole it. And so now I'm in a panic and I'm running around. And even though I have my phone, I'm at the end of the battery life for the little tile devices that I had at that time. So they're not chirping, even with the car keys in my hand. So now I'm out of my mind. I'm looking in places where it cannot possibly be. I'm checking the freezer. I'm looking in the pantry behind jars of canned applesauce and sauerkraut that I had put up the previous year. I am looking in the laundry hamper. I am looking in the garbage and picking through with my bare hands. I'm looking in the washer and in the dryer, right? So there's no way that wallet migrated to any of those places, but I am freaked out and I'm just in a crazy panic. And the next logical place then would be to check the furniture. Well, the chairs don't have any cracks or cushions that have hiding places, but the sofa, this giant black leather behemoth of a creature with heavy chrome undercarriage and legs, which is almost impossible for one person to scooch across the carpet by himself. Man, I'm on that thing like a dog digging for a bone, and I'm reaching in the cracks and between the cushions, and I'm finding all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm finding like a piece of clothesline that I had tied into a clever knot for the dog to use as a chew toy, and I'm finding loose change and candy wrappers and a French fry or two and an expired Starbucks gift card and all of that, and Crumbs and lint and the usual suspects down in the mystery regions, but no wallet. So I began the heinous process over a period of days of calling the bank and canceling the debit card and the credit card, of calling the other credit card company. And a few days go by, and now I have no debit card to go shopping with. I have no ATM access, so I have to go to the bank to get cash out in person, like a real old person, because I don't know why old people love doing that, but they do. And I'm one of those old people now. And I'm like living under a dark cloud of cray-cray. And the day finally comes, I'm running around the house and I decide I've got to get my driver's license replaced because I'm going to get stopped eventually. And as I'm getting ready, got my keys on my phone, and I'm leaving the house, I'm like, wait a minute. Wait. There are 2 storage places in that big old sofa. The side arms lift up, they're on hinges, and that's where the remotes and random stuff is hidden. And for some reason, I ran over there, and there was that damn wallet. And I remembered as I found it, oh yeah, I was waiting for the insurance man to come over that day, and I was trying to quick pick everything up and get all the clutter hidden, and I threw everything on the dining room table in that side compartment on the sofa. That little story, sadly true, reminds me of a deeper truth, namely that I need to thoroughly search my own heart and my own life continuously to determine what in the heck is really going on there. If anybody had come into my living room that day, like the insurance man surely did, I'm sure he thought to himself, ooh, this brother has a styling crib. Look at all this amazing stuff and this cool, mid-century modern furniture and stuff. I'm sure he was impressed. Everything looked clean and tidy and all of that. Even that sofa looked clean and tidy at first glance. But it was in the process of making that deeper search, to find those hidden items in the crevices and between the cushions, that the truth was revealed sometime later. This is a trap that we human beings fall into very easily all the time. And I would dare to say that we clergy are particularly susceptible to this nonsense. Because here's the deal. To our congregations and to people who are viewing us from, outside looking in, it looks like we have our shit together. It looks like we're doing exactly what we're, preaching on Sundays. We're living our deeper truths. We're stepping up to become, the presence of the living Christ, as I say all the time. We're doing it. It looks to them like we are in control and restrained and suitably mature and all of that, and maybe even holy. That's how it looks. The problem is this: they don't see our interior struggles for the most part. They don't see our PTSD moments or our doubts or other unregulated emotions. They don't see those deep scars that we carry. The problem is, because they don't see those things, it becomes super easy for us to not see those things either, to ignore those things, and to begin to see ourselves through the eyes of other people who can only see the exterior. That has gotten me in a world of trouble with my own addictive behavior. So I'm well aware of the trap now. Psalm 139, verses 23 and 24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts, and see if there are any offensive ways within me, and lead me instead in your eternal way. That is a prayer that I think every one of us needs to pray and embrace with all the sincerity and humility that we can muster. Because in order to stay humble and honest and totally transparent with ourselves, we need God's assistance to pull that off. We need God to help us search our hearts and to really examine our anxious thoughts and our negativity and the negative lens through which we sometimes view everything in the world. There are, to be sure, dark corners and crevices in the sofa of our heart that need to see the light of day, that need to experience the light of God's unconditional love and grace so we can clean up our act. Not just for the sake of appearances, but for real. So that our actions are more in harmony with the values that we say we hold, so we can match up the external appearances with what's really going on inside of us. Pray with me. Loving, mighty God, we thank you for the gift of life in this moment. We thank you for the gift of insight and the gift of humility that we sometimes overlook. Help us today to be willing to do a more thorough searching of our heart and of our life. If we are feeling stuck in some way, give us patience, give us insight, so that we can determine exactly what it is you need us to do next. For all the times that you have guided us and given us the gift of other people with additional insights and wisdom for us to gain, we thank you. Help us today to be a little more compassionate with ourselves. Help us to take the next right step forward so that who we appear to be is in fact who we are. We ask all this in the name of the only begotten, your Son, Jesus the Christ, the one who continues to live and work with you and the Spirit, God, forever and ever. Amen. Keep praying for peace in Ukraine. Have a blessed Friday.